Well, we're rolling. Okay, we're here with Dakota Brownell, my guest host. Welcome to the Doug Menzies Comedy Podcast. And the great, wondrous Mysterion, who is coming here in the Biltmore in June. Yes?
Yeah, June.
Yeah, June. Tell us about it.
Well, we're going to have an incredible night here at the Biltmore.
What night is that?
Well, you know what? As the mind reader, I should know these things.
Jesus.
I have so much going on.
We got it already, Dakota.
Can I tell you something? I have 25 events between now and then, and I'm not making that number up.
Dakota and I got about 3 or 4.
I think it's the 14th. Am I right about that? Let's see, my lady over there who maintains my mind. 12th. Okay, 12th. So don't come on the Sunday. 12th, come on June the 12th.
All right.
And it's actually going to be a fantastic night. We have the Wasegas playing, an amazing surf band. We have all sorts of music, all sorts of mind reading. I'm actually going to perform my full theater show, but we're going to divide it into two. We're going to divide it into two 20-minute sections, or something like that. So you can kind of intersperse it with the music. So when I do a theater show, for example, on a cruise ship or for a company party, they're getting the whole thing in one go. But this way, it's a lot more immersive, because this isn't a sit down kind of place. This is a bit more raucous and rowdy and fun, and I'm going to be able to kind of get into the minds of the people that are here. Having a few drinks and having some fun. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of the material that I would have done back in the day when I started doing what I do, which would have been in bars and in clubs and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Really, really fun. Mind reading. Somebody thinks of their credit card number. I'm able to tell them the PIN number on the card.
Nice.
I've actually had the cop.
Jesus. That was one of my questions too.
Well, I had the cop. I did a show about before COVID, and I was performing in West Gwillimbury, and 2 people called the police on the same day. The only time I've ever had the cops called on me, 2 people called the police on the same day, thinking that me and at the time my former partner in the show could actually know their PIN number, and we would actually they were concerned we were going to go online and make purchases.
Yeah,
which we could, but it's not what we would intend to do now. Now that I'm on the public radar, I have to be careful.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are locked up for doing that. You just never know.
For mentalists?
Yeah, they're just mentalists. They just don't know.
I don't know.
And then they just get busted.
If you could just
it's a movie.
If you could just make up a PIN number right now, what would you make up? A 4-digit PIN number. Say it out loud.
1818.
Why that?
Oh, just kind of threw in my brain right
sure
there.
See, I have a PIN number written on that paper. What does that say?
Yeah, because 4 different numbers went through my brain too. Because it was 24 too, and it was just last minute.
Did you tell him a 4-digit PIN? No.
I just had it written down. That's my old.
Threw that in my brain.
That's my old PIN number. My old PIN number. I had to keep it easy. It's like my mom's PIN number is 1234. Oh no, did I just tell everybody that?
What's the rest of her PIN number you said?
Well, the PIN number from it was 1991 or something. That was my PIN number, to keep it simple.
Yeah. Bosco, wasn't that
Bosco? That was
Seinfeld.
Costanza.
Right?
That's so funny.
What is your passcode, man? No. That was great.
Jesus. So I got a question. Does anybody else ever guess the same stuff, or is it always different?
If I want them to pick that number, I'll allow them to pick
You just
that number.
throw it. Because I felt my brain penetrated almost. I wasn't even thinking about 1818, and then it was just
we had a show 3 weeks ago.
Penetrated my brain.
I was at the Knicks Tattoo Expo 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, and I had a few people come over to the booth. I was performing. I was one of the headline acts at the event, and then we had a booth right at the stage, and people were coming over to the booth, and I purposely proved to somebody that I can make somebody else think of the same celebrity that they picked, and I had them pick Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
And that was because earlier on another person picked Ryan Gosling. So I just picked up the paper that I'd had written down Ryan Gosling, and I asked the second person to hold on to it, and I said, now freely think of a celebrity, and they went, you'll never guess. I said, well, who is it? Ryan Gosling. The first person just freaked. I said, open up the paper, and there it was. And I said, look, it's the same projection.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So you see in Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12, they do that and then Catch Me If You Can. What's the
Now You See Me.
Yeah.
Now You See Me, and they
not Now You See Me.
That's the magician one.
Yeah, the magician one, and they do the subliminal. The whole day long, they're imprinting this guy with numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So he can
be easily influenced.
Now with a theater show, though, you don't have that.
Well,
I don't want to give away the tricks.
It's a little tougher. Thankfully, I've been reared in these types of environments. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I used to perform at a venue in Toronto back when this place was around. It was called the Cadillac Lounge. It was like a rockabilly bar.
Okay.
I worked there part-time and I ran their kitchen for a bit. And it's kind of where I started to, I was working part-time there and part-time as an entertainer. And I would get up between the acts. They would have a burlesque show or maybe a band or whomever. And I would get up and do 2 or 3 tricks. And you would think in that sort of an environment, you know, people are going to talk over you. It's going to be tough. And I had to learn quick how to A, get the audience's attention, B, do something that was relative to what they were experiencing. So back then I would do something graphic. Like, for example, we would play a game of, you know, Russian roulette with a spike under a paper bag, and I'd have 3 paper bags and smack my hand on the ones that don't have the bag.
You ever get your hand?
No, not there. I did it at home under an accident situation. I was playing around with different ways, and I whacked my hand, and you can still see the little bump.
Okay.
But you can actually feel it. Feel that right there. You can feel it. See?
Right.
That's the little bump. It's still there.
Yeah, there's a bump.
But no, not in public. I haven't. And I don't do that anymore.
So
I think
got a
those
question.
types of things are silly, but you know,
Sounds
when
like a
you're
pretty
young,
cool trick to
when
me.
you're young and foolish, you'll do things for attention. But the point I'm getting at is that you have to sort of understand your audience and do something for the audience that they're going to immediately be able to connect with. There's a band called The Exploited. They're an old UK punk band. They're big. I just opened for them. So you would imagine having me in an environment like that wouldn't work. And my God, not only did it work, but the band at the end of the night called me up and, you know, we're like, this guy's the best. And I'm just like, what's going on? I mean, 14-year-old me lost their mind, you know, when this was happening. But I have a way of somehow connecting because I'm like you. I'm like the audience. I'm into this stuff. And I just have the...
Shows when you enjoy it.
I have the privilege to be able to have fun with it and do it for people, and they seem to love it.
Is it like an aura thing? Like, is it like, you know how like people talk to like the dead and stuff? Is like, is it you walk into a room and like some people have more aura for these type of things?
No, I think everyone can do this with the right training. A child can do it with 30 years practice.
Crazy.
Here, I'll teach you one right now.
Okay.
I'm going to influence you.
All right.
To pick a card out of this deck. I'm going to tell you right now with my mind a card.
Okay.
Now, do you feel I'm telling you that it's a black or a red card? It's up to you. It's a black card. Okay. And do you feel that I'm telling you it's not that one? Okay, I'll leave that there on the table. Do you feel that I'm telling you it's a spade or a club?
Spade.
It's a spade. And what spade do you feel it is that I'm telling you?
The ace.
You feel it's the ace of spades, legitimate.
Ace of spades.
You don't want to change your mind because that is a very common choice. A lot of people.
I was going to say when I picked it, I'm like, it's too common.
Do you want to change it?
No, we'll stick with the ace.
So I gave you the option to change your mind, right?
Yeah.
What color are these cards?
Red.
Red. So you did pick the only blue one out of my pack.
That's neat.
You see what I'm saying? So
I love that.
I did influence you to pick that one because everyone can do this with the right practice training. You can do it if you were in an environment with somebody. You do this every day. Like, for example, I know what somebody's thinking.
So hang on, you influenced me to pick the ace of spades.
You were reading it off of me. The same way that I could read something off of an individual. It's my job to look at somebody and figure out things about them based on their appearance. For example, you sitting to my right, immediately I know you're a wrestling fan because you're wearing an Austin 316 shirt. Yeah. That's not that difficult to discern, but it's a clue. And then I could assume that you know a little bit about wrestling.
Yeah.
And then I asked you before we started filming to think of the name of a wrestler, and we folded it up, we wedged it in my wallet, and my face was turned away, and I put it in my pocket. There's no way I could have snuck it and peeked or anything like that.
I witnessed that.
You were watching.
It was legit.
Now, based on these observations, I'm going to guess you picked somebody from the Attitude Era. You could have went earlier to the Golden Era. You could, or whatever you call it, current sort of WWE. You could have went to NWA. Yeah. But that just there, I went, statistically speaking, he's going to go there. Now, I don't think he's going to go for an A-list wrestler because I said don't pick The Rock.
Yeah.
And immediately by doing that, I influenced you not to pick any of the top-tier wrestlers.
Nice.
But you would have gone for someone who was very vocal, visual, and perhaps even funny. And I think you went for. I think you went for. Hello, ladies. Oh
my God!
I think you went for Val Venus.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Holy
So I think he went for Val Venus.
Yeah.
And it's all based on a few little deductions. And funny enough, I know his brother Vic.
Jesus
I worked
Christ.
with Val Venus' brother in a wrestling show for years back.
I was like someone
ago.
that's not going to be, that was big but not really talked about. And I have a comedian friend, Matt Henry, who's done a show with him. Well, you probably aren't. You're knowing this as I'm telling you.
Was it Val Venus?
No, he was in the crowd.
Oh, okay.
And so that's
He's
what
a
made me
weird
kind
dude.
of-
He's a weird dude.
I loved his character on
Yeah.
the thing. So.
Yeah, well, old school wrestling, a lot of them. It was
so good.
It's a lot of show,
Jesus.
right? Now it's a
Yeah.
lot more acrobatics and sports, and there still is that male soap opera going on.
Not
but-
as much though. I try to watch it
Yeah.
now, and I don't think it's the same. There's no connection to me. I like AEW a little bit, but
Yeah, it's not the same. Like back in the day, like everyone had like their the characters. Every character was so like prominent. Like you had like I'm sorry for bringing this up. It's offensive, but like a terrorist guy.
it's what it was.
There
It
was a
was-
guy,
it was
and that was his
reflective
thing,
of
and he was a
society.
terrorist. And you had like the Iron Sheik. That was
Yeah.
like death to America. Like,
Yeah.
and you can't do that now
Nikolai
if they have
Volkov,
yeah.
right? And the
Nikolai
Iron
Volkov,
Sheik.
funny enough, he would stay at my house about a decade ago, a little over a decade. This is not a lie, and I'll tell you a funny story. My partner at the time didn't realize he was. We had a guest. I'm in the same house, but I have a guest room in the back of the house, and she didn't realize we had a guest over because he went to bed and she came back at like 11 at night. He'd already gone to bed, and she went to the toilet, and I guess in the middle of the night he got up and just opened the bathroom door, and from what I understood, stood there and went, "Oh, sorry," and then just shuts the door. So she comes back going, "Who's the old man in the back room?" And I'm like, "It's Nikolai Volkov." She's
Right.
like, "What? That wasn't Nikolai. That wasn't Nikolai Volkov." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was Nikolai Volkov at 70, you know."
Yeah.
But he was such a sweet guy, and
Crazy.
and he was an interesting individual. He would. I'm not making a word of this up. He would take a pitcher of water, put it on my kitchen counter, and he had this strange wire contraption that he would put over it. It was like a dome, and he said that it neutralized the water and it changed the chi energy of the water, and he wouldn't drink it unless he had it under this dome for a certain amount of time.
That's
and he
weird.
believed in all sorts of unusual things like that. And he was really healthy and just very spiritual in a weird way, like esoteric spiritual, but you wouldn't know it. That's cool. And then unfortunately, he didn't die that old. He was moderately young for somebody, but I guess he was such a big guy, his heart eventually gives out, you know?
that's right.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's good to hear that too, because a lot of them had like all sorts of drug problems.
He never
right?
did.
Like the Iron
No, he
Sheik
never
talks
did.
about doing crack with Hogan and stuff, right?
Who
We
is
haven't
it, Jimmy
started about what
Snuka or
happened in
something?
Oshawa.
Snuka was.
Yeah, my buddy, he went to a bar.
Superfly.
Yeah, he went to a bar and he was there and he was
Yeah.
smoking some
Sure he was.
stuff out back.
Was
by
he? He
himself.
got arrested for like assault or like attempted murder or something. wasn't
Well,
it?
what
Was he doing
the
flips
ro-
off
the story goes that back in the early 80s, he assaulted his wife and she fell and hit her head and she passed from the injury. But they don't know if he pushed her, or if she tripped and fell. Or there's a lot of gray area.
Right.
But he was being charged with her with a manslaughter charge. Not too long ago, and then before it went to trial, I think he had either dementia or something, there was this sort of gray area, and then he passed away. So nothing came of it, but I don't know. But I'll tell you something funny about the Iron Sheik, and here we're in Oshawa, and I don't want to spread tales, but about 20 years ago, I was involved in a wrestling show that was happening here in Oshawa, and the Sheik was involved, and we had to send my buddy's girlfriend out to find the Sheik his medicine before he would agree to get and do the show.
Oh, damn.
So this poor 18-year-old girl who has never even smoked a joint, yet alone anything harder, had to find him what he wanted, found it quickly.
Oh, wow.
It's Oshawa.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, was it in Oshawa?
Just under the, it was in Oshawa. It was on,
okay.
it was
Well,
over
that's-
at the Legion down by the highway. And he had his medicine, and then he was in tip-top shape to come out and do his spot.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But I mean, I met him many times. He was always nice to me, the Sheik. and I know his relatives and things like this. And people have problems. I mean, it's unfortunate in the wrestling community how at that time how rampant they were. Nowadays, there's strict drug policies.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you're going to get away with that anymore.
No. Well, I'm a recovering addict. I can't imagine doing any performance.
Can you imagine? No.
No. People talk about doing it on coke and stuff, and I'm like, that is the last thing I would ever do.
No way, no how. Exactly.
Get up in front of a bunch. But I'm ADD as well. So when ADD people take coke, they don't get all spun out. They actually, it's kind of like a stimulant.
That's right.
It's a lot of us self-medicate for a while.
Not the same.
It feels a lot better than ADD medicine.
Oh yeah.
I drink a coffee and I fall asleep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm the same.
It's the opposite.
I can do that.
No, I can't do that.
I can do monsters too. Same thing.
Yeah, it's ADHD and that sort of thing. It kind of commits the opposite.
Yeah.
So, where my partner might have a coffee and be beep, I'm like, okay, bedtime.
It's a chemistry. Yeah, coffee. I can't have a coffee kind of past 2 in the afternoon. I won't sleep great. Like I'll sleep, but it won't be good.
It'll keep you triggered.
Yeah, like it's something's going on. I'll wake up and the mind starts going. And well, now listen, I got a couple of questions. So you said 20 years you've been doing this. Jesus, don't die before the show.
No, I can't do that. I have a contract.
People a show.
I have a contract.
So you got into this because you were working at a...
No, that's not why I got into it. I found the interest as a youth when I was a kid. The amazing Kreskin.
Help with the
grades.
Yes.
I used to watch him on television.
Yeah.
And I would stay home from school sometimes, and it was either him or Doug Henning that was on TV.
Oh, Doug
Henning. They had an afternoon program that
Yeah.
ran, I think, at about noon. And if I came home for lunch or I stayed home, I'd always watch it. It was on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And they would rotate the two magicians. And I remember really liking both of them. I loved both of them. But I really liked Kreskin because he, to me, it could be real. Like, how the hell is he finding a credit card or a check that he had somebody hide it in the city of Manhattan? And he's going out and he's using his mind and he finds it. And I'm going, oh, this guy's like an X-Man, you know what I mean? And
that's cool.
He's got a power. And then I would watch his show and then it was off the air. And then I taped them. I taped a bunch of episodes and I would rewatch them and I started to kind of figure them out. And I kind of went, okay, I see what's going on here. And I had a loose interest in it and I learned a little bit of basics. I went to Ireland and there was a magic shop in Ireland and I went to purchase some magic props, but at that time they didn't just sell you what you wanted. You kind of gate kept, so you only had access to a little bit, and then if you wanted the good stuff, you had to kind of graduate to that. And I think that should be how it is because there's so many people performing and doing a terrible job of it. But
giving
anyway,
away the secrets and everything.
Yeah, it's all online. And anyway, that being said, but anyway, what happened was I got good with 2 or 3 effects, and I was approached by a woman who ran a street festival in Rings End, and they had a face painter and a singer cancel. And they had a slot of time, and they said, hey, listen, we have this slot of time available. So-and-so said, you know magic. Do you want to get up on the back of this lorry, the back of the truck, and basically do a show? And I'm like, and I was like 15 or maybe 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, I can do that. So I ran back to the flat, and I got some stuff, and I came back and did 15 or 20 minutes. And I remember they gave me 30 pounds, and I thought, my God. That's like, that's the summer's money. Like back then, that was like 85 Canadian.
Okay.
You know, it'd be like $200 for a kid. Like, this is good money.
Yeah.
And and I kind of thought, okay, this is fun. And then the kids would come over to the house and they'd bang on the door, do something. And so I kind of realized, this is something that people like. And I didn't really go anywhere with it. In school, I dabbled in magic a little bit, but I didn't really go into magic as one might nowadays. Like teenagers go gung-ho into it. I knew about 5 or 6 really fun things, and I might perform them. I remember performing in science class. The teacher liked magic, so he would let me do something at the end of the month or and then he would try to figure it out.
We both wanted to know if you used it to meet girls.
Absolutely, later in life.
Yeah, especially like throwing the idea in people's brains.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now does
you want
it
to
work?
go back to my house?
Irresistible.
Does it work? I have a warning to women when a guy comes up to you in a bar with a pack of cards, run. You know what I mean? But we
same with the guys too, by
exactly,
the way.
yeah, vice versa. Oh my god.
Careful.
But what ended up happening was I found my interest in it again when I reconnected with a guy who lives in Nova Scotia. His name is Kevin, and he was a part-time magician, and he started showing me stuff around the turn of the century or the year 2000, and I was just like, oh, this is great. It is the turn of the century.
Yeah, I never
and
hear
we're
someone
in the,
use
and we're
that
in the
term.
20s.
Everybody says it's the aughts.
No, it's
Back
not.
in the aughts.
No, it's
The
the turn of the century.
The turn of the century.
And,
I'm like, oh, yeah.
and he showed me some stuff, and I immediately knew how he did it. And my uncle also had some interest in magic, and I had exposure to that when I was a kid as well. So I was able to kind of go, hey, this is great. And he took me to the Browser's Den, which I had been going to for years, but not really as a destination. I just might happen to go there and look at the magic and just sort of passively want some and buy it. But not
Where
as
is that? Is
they're
that in,
now
like,
they're
Asian-
still in
Asian Corner
Toronto.
or something?
They're gone. No, they used to be in Toronto Central by Yorkdale, and they at one point forever were at Bathurst and Eglinton.
I think I took my daughter to that
Yeah.
shop. Yeah,
and now
we
they're
got
up
a couple
at,
of low end.
That's right. So
Yeah.
now they're up at Don Mills and Steele's in one of those flea markets because
Okay.
the brick and mortar shop thing is kind of everyone orders online.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
so glad they're still there. And please,
Yeah.
if you're listening, you want to buy magic, go support Jeff. He's phenomenal.
What's the name of the spot again?
The
It's a-
Browser's Den of Magic.
Browser's Den
and
of
Jeff
Magic.
is fantastic. And
Yeah.
you have to have that community hub because if you don't have it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have a community. You don't have a scene, right?
Yeah. Right.
But anyway, that being said, and I started to go there and buy some books, go back to the library, and start really reassessing my love of this. And I started performing for people at the restaurant, performing for people in the street, and then came up with Mysterion. And it was almost overnight. I'd booked some shows. I mean, my show then was shit. I've seen video of it, and I'm like, that people like that? I mean, it was okay.
You should see Dakota's comedy.
I was just gonna say that's how our comedy is too.
Still,
Don't say ours.
No. Hey.
still to this day.
Well, you can see June 18th at the Biltmore Theater, the Comedy Carnival.
There you go.
So I
Come see me, bomb.
What happened was I went to a venue to perform, and the Toronto Star were there, and they were covering the other performers. And then I got a phone call maybe half a week later. Hey, we were at this thing and you were there. We really want to talk to you. Yeah, sure. And I met with the guy and we did an article, and he goes, give me your backstory. And I went, and I came up with this fantastical backstory. Like I have this scar on my stomach.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's from a surgery from when I was a kid.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah. So they're like, how do you get your powers? I'm like, the other side. And they're like, well, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, I have a Siamese twin, and he passed away, and he communicates to me from the other side.
That's so cool.
Right? Like, isn't that the greatest?
That's a great movie idea.
Right? It's a great idea. So then everyone's like, you got to be joking. So then what do? I had a friend of mine who makes Hollywood props make the baby. Then,
Did you put it in a jar?
buddy, there's photos of it online.
That's awesome.
It was so well made that it fooled doctors. And then I even did a backstory of me having to go through this legal process to get the body back because it was in some sort of storage facility. And it's weird how people, I'm going to be straight. It's weird how people misremember facts. I would say to people, do you remember the story of the Siamese babies at Sick Kids Hospital? And people that were older would go, I remember that. You were one of them? And your mother, how does your mother feel about you getting the baby? And then I had to get my mom involved to make my mom be like, it's
That's
sad.
his brother.
It's his brother. And it went so, at the time, it went so viral that Bazaar magazine, which I don't know if they're around anymore, out of the UK, they covered it, gave me a big article. The Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail, all these frickin' everywhere. And I'm going, okay, they're buying the sizzle. They're not buying the steak. They're buying the sizzle.
Okay.
Now I got to start delivering.
Right.
And so when all those articles came out, I had a small event at a place in Toronto, the Gladstone, and the room's not that big at the time.
I know it.
And I expected maybe 50 people, and there was a lineup around the block. So I had to do 2 shows that night. I had to push one back or forward and push the other one so I could fit them all in. And I think I maybe made about $1,500 for that night. My rent at that time was $450.
Yeah, man.
So it clicked. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just paid 3 months rent. I'm like, this is it.
In one
Yeah.
night.
And I just started hyper focusing on it, showing up at variety nights, comedy nights, having my own show, bugging the shit out of the media.
Yeah.
And did the Kenny versus Spenny show.
Okay.
Oh,
That
cool.
went over really well. People
cool.
still to this day come up to me related to that.
Yeah.
The Haunted House episode. I created a seance show, which Liz and I, my partner and I, recreated it. Like a modern, updated version of it. It's off the hook good now, with a haunted doll and all this stuff, and it just sort of worked. And then I got an agent, and then it was funny because you would imagine I would go into a niche market. In fact, it went the opposite direction. I was doing bar mitzvahs, I was doing weddings, and I had people going, "Bring a shrunken head to the bar mitzvah."
Bring
your brother.
Bring that dead baby.
Bring
Your
the baby.
your plus one is your brother.
And there used to be, I'm not making up a word of this, there used to be a venue called the Academy of Spherical Arts. It was a high-end billiards hall that had corporate events. And I remember one client going, "I want you to bring the baby for our Christmas show." I said, "Are you sure?" So yeah. So I brought this baby and I put bows on it.
Santa head.
You know, but I think I did actually off the side of the jar, and I had it all on display. And we put up one of those velvet dividers so you couldn't get too close, and people were going over, "It's the real one," and no one was upset.
Did you have a name? Did
Tony.
You
I named him. I named him after The Shining. Tony's gonna Tony. You know,
Rad Rob.
so
Rad Rob.
it was just such a, it's very wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, it's
great.
such a wrestling thing.
It's great.
And
It's like you bring your baby brother to the ring with you.
yeah,
You hit someone over the head with
absolutely.
him.
Well, the story, the show, and you
It's all
collect these
about a
oddities
show.
and
and
stuff
I
too.
still do.
Yeah.
So my show now is farthest from that. You know, I still have an element of the sideshow and that sort of thing, and we do have a sideshow that we produce annually in Toronto, and even in LA we do, and it's all like sword swallowers and glass eaters and fire breathers and that sort of thing. We just did a thing for Harley Davidson up in Sudbury. They bought us out. We went up and brought the whole show up there.
Expensive to put that on, I bet.
Oh, mad expensive.
Yeah.
They handed us literally. I'm not making this up. They paid in cash.
Oh, okay.
Like
yeah.
we invoiced them, but they paid in cash.
Yeah,
I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
A literal brick of money that was like this.
Oh, wow.
I felt like I was at doing a drug trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a super show.
But
and
putting all
That's
those
cool.
performers together,
it took
performers together.
Yeah, we
I
all
mean,
had to
and-
get up there and do it. But I do
Yeah.
this all the time. I used to run wrestling shows. It's not that tough. You just have to be organized, have the
Yeah.
right people helping you.
Yeah.
But we nowadays the show I do is very corporate. Like what you're going to get here is not going to be the corporate show. You're going to get an element of it, but you're also going to get an element of the punk rock attitude that I still
man,
carry.
this is the Biltmore
You know,
Theater.
the
Don't
Biltmore.
bring
I'm not
that
going to
shit
bring you
here.
guys boredom. But you know, I got a call today for 3 contracts for cruises out of Rochester in the late summer. I'm booked at the CNE.
Yeah.
You know, I'm booked at the CNE for the third quadrant of this quadrant. Third quadrant, what would
the
be
turning
the
of
third?
the
The
century.
third segment.
Oh,
Can't be a third quadrant.
Third segment sounds good.
Sounds right. Third
Yeah,
segment of
sounds
the
good to me.
CNE schedule.
Dakota will take anything at this point.
Yeah,
He's sweating
you
bullets
do
over there. Don't
big
ask
book up.
me. I don't know
Yeah.
what that's called. I don't
the whole
watch
time
them
you're talking,
sports.
I'm like thinking things, and I'm like, I hope he's not hearing what I'm thinking. I hope this doesn't distract him as
It's like
he's
this-
talking. And
Hold
he's
on, hold
like,
on.
If
Hey,
he
you mind
tuned in-
shutting up?
If he tuned into your brain, all he hears
I've
is
been in.
meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Exactly.
I'm in his mind right now. Hold on. Call the police. And so, you know, I have this show that I've
kidding. I love
worked
you.
on. Killing me here.
Good.
You know, this is the. I'm not sick. It's
Allergies.
Allergies. You
Oh,
go.
that's okay.
It's horrible.
Oh, I'm
Yesterday
deadly
we
sick,
went to
and
the
I've
park.
been sitting next to you the whole time.
No,
man.
I'll be okay.
It's good.
I had
I'm glad
we
I'm
went to
here.
the park yesterday, and I was exposed to nature's most vicious, and I went home and just succumbed to the afternoon, and I had to get Dayquil and everything, and I'm okay now, but a little bit of a.
The Reactin help at all?
Not it does, but it doesn't help. I think I have to have a
real
body
bad,
transplant.
eh?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
my eyes are dry. But it's always this time of year. You know what it is? It's when what are they called? Magnolia trees? when those magnolia trees bloom, it's whatever that week is.
Oh.
I don't think it's the magnolia trees.
the big pink ones?
I think it's when that week happens is always when something else happens.
Yeah.
So I always notice, I go, shit.
Yeah.
Here they're blooming. It's going to hit me. And then within 2 days, boom. And then it goes away after about 2 weeks. So
I get the spring and fall. Spring and fall. Sometimes not always in the fall, but you get that spring pollen or whatever it is.
I heard that the city only plants male trees, which are what shoot off the pollen, but they don't plant as many female trees because they produce fruit, and they don't want the fruit. I don't know why they don't want the fruit, but because there are more male trees than there are female, there's an excess of pollen in the air, and that's what's causing a lot of the issue. So if they just frickin' give us some chicks and we'll be okay.
Get rid of these
trees
men.
Have sex, man. Let the trees do it.
Yeah.
Dakota's actually an arborist.
Yeah.
So you're
is this
hitting
true?
right
I
in
have
his
no idea.
ballpark.
I just cut them down and trim them up.
I assumed you brought it up
So you're
because
the
we were reading his
massacrist.
mind.
That's some people think that. I consider myself a barber. You know,
barber.
Like, give them a little haircut, make it.
I like it.
Trim,
Like,
a little trim.
take all the
blood barber.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna do you're gonna do a couple of sections when you come
Yeah.
here in
Yeah.
June?
Do one
some
on Doug
music
here.
Here,
and-
say stop on a page in this novel.
Stop.
Look at the first word, but don't tell me what it is.
Yes.
They're all different, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to hand you the book, and I want you to think of any word on any page. But
not the one that
not
I
the one,
picked?
not the one that you just picked. In fact, find one that's really
Just so I find
longer,
one now,
like a real good long one. Like if that
Right.
word was short, pick a real long one. So I want 2 different types
Got
of
it.
words. You got a long word?
Yeah.
Okay, close the book, please.
Yes.
Now, if you think of those words, I'm not even looking at you. You didn't write them down. I want you to imagine in your mind the first word.
Okay.
Beginning with an L, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, now the second word it's not beginning with an R.
No.
I was right. It's not beginning with an R.
Yeah.
See what I did there? What's the first letter of that long word?
Oh.
And then think about the short word.
Okay.
Is it less?
Yeah, it's less.
Now, I want you to think about the long word and keep
Okay.
sending it to me letter by letter. Keep thinking of the second letter. You just thought of the whole word, didn't you?
I did.
That was a P, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
OP?
Yes.
Opta? Keep looking at me. Optometrist. Optometrist.
God damn. I was like, I don't know what he's gonna spell. What if you don't even know the word?
You got it. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm gonna fall off this chair,
There you go.
man.
That's your thought.
So
I can't
if I
keep
like
that.
sit here
Dude,
and think
that
about a
is-
fruit, could you pick it up? If I
Yes.
just I'm just gonna send
Kumquat.
it. I'm gonna send it. No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't it.
Watermelon.
No.
Banana.
No, you're just gonna name them all.
Kiwi.
Like I knew it. No.
No?
No.
You're kidding.
No.
Was it any of those?
Sending it at you right now.
Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah, we never arranged this.
No, I swear to God.
What fruit was it? Say it out loud.
A pineapple.
No way. No one wants pineapples on pizza.
No.
It's true. You know that most people are actually anti-pineapple?
Yeah. On pizza.
Earlier on, I actually had a fruit written down in this
No,
book.
you didn't.
Yeah, can you just go through there? Where's my pen, by the way? Oh, here it is. I want you to go through there and find the fruit that I had scribbled in there before I got in here. I had a feeling someone would mention a fruit. And I'm going to ask you, yeah, is it there?
Or maybe it's back
No,
here.
I don't know. It
Pen?
should be in here. If it's not in here, it's okay. But it should be, because I know I wrote it, unless I wrote it on another pad. I'm not going to do anything weird. I wrote it in the middle because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't accidentally flashed before the show. You know what? I think we passed it. I'm just going to flip through here and find it. It's my insurance policy. I keep it hidden. We're going to kill some time flipping paper. There it is. What does that say?
Oh damn! Pineapple! Jesus Christ! I was like,
You didn't even. You just hit him up with that.
because I
Out
wrote
of the
down,
blue.
just throw something at him, and like, right while he was doing that with you, I'm like, pineapple. I'm gonna throw out pineapple.
Well done.
That is
But here's the
wild.
weirdest
Well
part.
done.
Here's
That
the
is
weirdest
crazy.
part.
Yeah.
Underneath this table
Get
is an envelope, and in that envelope is a photograph of a pineapple.
No.
Hey, that would have been awesome.
Shit.
And he looked, right?
Where's the
Hey, you got me with that. You could have been like, hey, there's a lady under there. I'd been like,
oh, that's fun.
No.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So the occult stuff, have you always, like, I saw some stuff going on in your house with the shrunken heads.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a true story. When I was 8, my family...
Are you sick of talking about this kind of stuff?
No, I love it. This is what I do. Look at my arms. I'm covered in tattoos.
All right.
Haunted seance and all this nonsense.
Oh, boy.
Tell me a time of day. Any time of day.
Okay, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Why 1 o'clock?
Well, that's when we agreed to meet.
Okay, well, I never made it on time.
No, you did.
I was a few minutes late.
No, you can read minds, but not clocks.
No. But here's the truth, okay?
Yeah.
We didn't arrange this.
Right.
So a lot of times people will ask me questions or I'll ask them questions.
Oh, shoot.
What time is my walk?
1 o'clock.
There you go.
It says 1
There
o'clock.
you go, right there.
it's for the record, it's not 1 o'clock right now.
No,
it's
not.
not.
It's about
It's not.
2
2
o'clock.
o'clock.
Yeah.
So when I was 8 years old, I moved into a house in Toronto with my family, a big Irish family, and I shared a room in the basement with my mom's brother, and they were a lot older, the siblings, because I was raised with my grandparents, and they were never home at night when I would go to bed. And I would have to go downstairs into this basement of this house alone, and at first I was fine, but then I would wake up and you'd hear things, and I just thought, okay, it's the house, it's new and it's weird, and I'm not making up a word of this, I woke up one night and there's a woman looking at me at the end of the bed. Yeah, so now it gets crazier because I wasn't the only one that saw her. My cousin Pat came over from Ireland. She stayed in the house and she woke up in the upstairs rooms and saw a woman walking around.
Yeah.
My aunt, my great aunt lived there as well, and she would complain that during the night she would hear people walking up and down the hallway, opening the cupboards, and then when she would come out to give out on the people who were making noise, the place was like dead, like no one was there, the lights were off.
Right.
So there was a lot of stuff that happened. My aunt visiting, or my aunt-to-be visiting and seeing a cat. We never had a cat. My other aunt being in the bathroom during the day and hearing someone walk up the hallway and stand in front of the bathroom door.
Nikolai
no one was there.
Volkov.
Nikolai Volkov walking in on taking a piss. Yeah,
He's coming back.
That's funny.
He's in naked again.
Ooh, Hogan.
Can't see me now.
Yeah.
What's going on? But here's the weird thing. I used to go to one area of the hallway. I'm not making this up. And you put your hands and your feet on the hall, and you can kind of climb up.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
remember
saying?
doing that.
You get up to the roof.
Yeah.
And you could hear a radio signal coming through the wall, like whispering and stuff. And I used to go up there, and I had my cousin go up, and she's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." Right. So whatever it was there. It was very real.
Yeah.
We all moved out, and my half-sister on my dad's side, who would have zero knowledge of me ever living there. My dad maybe wouldn't even know I lived in that specific house back in the 80s. We were driving past the house because my father was dropping off my half-sister. This is 20 years ago. We're dropping off my half-sister on the street. And as we were passing, I said to my half-sister, "You see that house up ahead? I lived there when I was your age." And she said, "Oh, my friend Tanner lives there." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "My friend from school lives there." I went, "Okay." I didn't say anything to her. She was like 8 at the time, or 9. Mm-hmm. So pull over, let her out to go to another house. And we went on with the day. And I'm at an event a few weeks later, or maybe a month or two later, and this kid comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, are you Kaylee's brother?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I live in your old house." "Oh, cool." And he goes, "Can I ask you something?" And I'm like, "Oh no." I knew. And he goes, "Is the house haunted?" Now, the little angel, the devil is going, "Tell him it's haunted." The little angel saying, "You're the adult, don't scare the kid at the event," right? So I said, "Well, why would you say that?" And I kid you not, he goes, "My brother and I wake up and we see a woman looking at us." And guys, my hair went up, man. So I had the mom phone me on the Monday, and the mom was like, "Yep, we had a priest and a mom, a rabbi, a freaking native, everybody come in here and bless this place." Nothing. Still there. So I went, well, I said to the kid, "Look, I never got hurt. People have lived in this house now for 50 years. I mean, well, 40 since I lived there. It'll be 43 now. No one's been hurt. So you're fine, but it's just weird, you know?"
Creepy.
As they describe it in The Shining, it's like pictures in a book. They can't hurt you. They're just visually weird. I said, I don't know what else to tell you, but I don't know. So Liz and I, who's to those listening, who's sitting over here.
Just 1 second. You are here on your own accord, right? No trickery here. Yeah. Okay.
No trickery.
Are you do it with him, right? Yeah. Can you guys like?
Are we talking?
Is it like
magic?
battling?
We can.
Yeah. Do you guys like battle it out? Can you read his mind?
Yeah. Here, do me a favor.
And then can you
do me a
block?
favor. Write down the name of someone you know right here in that box, and Liz, close your eyes.
Wait, but I got a question though. But can you stuff her? You know what I mean? Like if she's trying to read my mind, can you be like?
No, I can't do that.
No.
If anything, she can do that to me just by looking at me.
Okay, what is it? What am I writing?
Write down the name of someone you know. First name
Someone
of a friend,
I know?
friend, a colleague, a partner, somebody in your family, anybody at all. And then let me see it, but I won't say anything to Liz. Anyway, while you're doing that, Liz and I went back to the house a few years back, and we got invited in by the current owner, and we were walking down the street. I'd gone there for a doctor's appointment. My doctor's not too far from that location. And we were passing, and we went to the house, and there was a guy outside, started up a conversation with him. And he invited us in, and we hung out. And at the end, I said, well, what about the ghost? He said, well, the ghost is gone. I said, what do you mean the ghost is gone? He said, no, we don't talk about the ghost. So we left, and as I'm waiting for the Uber to pull up, I'm saying goodbye to the owner. I'm saying goodbye to the neighbor who still lived there, who was now in his 60s, and he would have been in his 20s when I was a little boy. He remembered me, and he knew me from TV now.
Nice. Okay.
We were just catching up or whatever. And then I said to the house, you take care, and you stay where you are, and may God strike me dead. I'm not going to try to insinuate the existence of supernatural anything. I telling you what happened. I was wearing a sukajan, a Japanese streetwear jacket. I felt a hand grab me by the arm. They all watched it happen. The fabric moved in. I went white as a ghost, and I went, you are not following me home. Now, I had nightmares about this house for years. I used to have nightmares where I'd wake up in the house and be like, what's going on? And they'd be like, welcome home. And I'd wake up like, what's going on?
And it wasn't her?
No, it wasn't her. It was her whispering into my ear, trying to fuck with me in my sleep. So I'd had all these nightmares, but like for no reason. They stopped. I haven't had one since. I'm not afraid of the house anymore. Okay. So I don't know what was going on in that house. But that house has been on Ghostly Encounters. It's been on podcasts.
Cool.
It's a real haunted house. So that's a real thing. Anyway, let's make this happen.
Can we go back to the Japanese
Sukajan?
Sukajan. What's that?
A sukajan?
Is that like the kung fu outfits?
No, that's a gi.
In the 70s?
No, I wish. A sukajan is similar to a bomber jacket.
Okay.
Only originally they were worn in the 50s by Japanese greasers from the 50s. So in America, greasers wore leather jackets. But in Japan, they wore these silk reversible jackets with embroidered dragons and tigers.
Do they got big cuffs on it too?
They can, yeah. They can, yeah.
Okay.
But they're beautifully made jackets that you can reverse. Okay. And they often will say things on them like, they might have what happened was in World War II, the soldiers were buying them up and bringing them back. So you would have tour jackets. They would have tours of where they were doing the tour on the back of the jackets, but more modern. They're images of dragons and this sort of thing. And I have one, but it was made out of velvet. It wasn't silk, and I bought it in Tokyo. On the hottest day of the year, it was 110 degrees.
Yours is a velvet?
And it was, I bought it from this guy who had a stall somewhere in downtown Edogawa. And he had this stall, and I was like, that jacket's amazing. It had a skull on it and everything. And I'm like, how much was it? And it was the equivalent of about 45 Canadian dollars. He just wanted to get rid of it. Who's buying it?
Right.
And I'm like, sold. So everyone's looking at me like, you're buying a winter jacket in this heat? I'm like, no. So I put it on, and I was just like, fuck this is great. I realized everyone's looking at me like I'm mental. I got it back. I brought it back to the Airbnb. I'm like 20 pounds lighter from sweating. But I wore that thing until it literally was threads. I had that jacket forever, and I got rid of it. I bought a new one recently. Yeah. I got a new one from New York at a place called Search and Destroy. But I found one online that is
it's
so
a Japanese
cool, man.
jacket.
Yeah, I bought.
And the store's called Search and Destroy.
It's a Japanese punk rock shop. Yeah,
Oh, damn.
Dude, they're amazing.
That's wild.
They're wild. But I found one online, and it's all. It's a seance, a Japanese seance, and it's all embroidered in silk.
That's cool.
They wanted $5,000 for it. I said, you can keep it, maybe a couple $100. Anyway, let's make this happen.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Keep thinking of the name.
Yeah.
Now I want you to look at Liz
Okay.
and mentally put it in her mind.
I'm really curious to know who Tim is.
Oh God. He's a good buddy of mine.
And that's exactly it.
Holy shit!
Damn.
That is
Damn.
very
Shout out
didn't
Tim.
even talk to you.
No.
I
And,
forgot,
and he was like telling a story. I thought he was going to say
well,
the name or
I
Tim or something.
I took him off guard.
I forgot
thinking
what
I
it
could
was.
Screw
And
with
like this
him.
whole time, I've been throwing like Marcus and stuff
Yeah.
there and other names. So
I'm like, let's put him on a story because I'm thinking he's going to say some stuff back and forth with letters and
nothing.
stuff. Like, that is
No.
very impressive.
That's
That's
fun.
cool.
Wow, man.
So
that is
I
fun.
was on the show Penn Teller Fool Us.
Yes, we saw it.
And at the time, I had an act called The Sentimentalists, and we had the whole audience draw pictures of anything they chose and fold them up. They drop them into one of those win machines, like a money machine that you stand in and catch money.
Oh, yeah,
you know, those games?
Yeah.
And they provided one of those as per our request. And I went in blindfolded. Fire up the fire. Now, I didn't ever practice today.
Okay.
Like I never even practiced it. We practiced everything except the fundamental of catching the billet. I never realized how tough it is to grab something while blindfolded in a money machine because you don't know what you're grabbing for. It's going around your hands.
Right.
So I eventually had to go like this and catch one, and I finally got one, and it took me a little longer than I thought. I was worried as it was happening. I'm not going to catch one. And then it was folded in my hand, and then I stepped out, and then we have the transmission, and then at the time, my partner at the time drew a picture, and then they turned them around, and they were duplicated. They were the same thing. Oh, cool. And the Penn and Teller were blown away because they thought that there was a camera. They thought that there was an earpiece in her ear that somehow I show it first and then somebody speaks to her, and I don't know, all sorts of different ways.
That's cool.
And it went over their heads. And then when we told them after, and they were very impressed at how it was done.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it was so, what's the word I'm looking for? The mental gymnastics that were involved were just beyond most people's commitment.
Yeah.
And it was something else. And
and I watched the clip of you on Canada's Got Talent.
Yeah, I seen
Canada's
that.
Got
Oh,
Talent,
yeah, that looked like
and
a
all
lot of
sorts
fun.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And I did another clip on Canada's Got Talent this past season, but they called me The Secret, and I was just a voice.
Okay.
And we had a jar on stage, and the voice was augmented, so it sounded like, I am artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I can
That's cool.
control the way humans think.
All
You
right.
think you control us, but we control you.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
Shania Twain, tell me a name of someone that, like what I did with you.
Yeah.
And then she said the name Shannon or Sharon. And I said, statistically, using AI, I knew you would pick that. Would the host come out and open the jar? And the host comes out and opens the jar. Reach in, and there's a big piece of paper. What does it say? You will pick Shannon.
Oh,
I think it was
cool.
Sharon.
That's
is-
cool.
And it scared them. And they said, no, we're not allowing this back.
Oh, damn.
Job well
Yeah.
done.
It would scare people. So,
I made it too scary.
Well, how did it? You can't. Come on. You can't scare you.
well,
it was
well.
it
people
was
are,
done
people
in
are
a way.
scared of AI. Right? So.
Well, they came at me and they said, "Do it so it's a ghost," and they own the right to that concept because they did.
Oh,
it
you
already.
mean people really thought it was
Oh,
AI?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's
I
so
get the scary
deep,
now. Okay, okay.
it's so deep. People are like, it might be a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah.
So I get it, and I love pushing that envelope. I wish they gave me the second crack at it. They
Right.
gave us free reign to make the buzzers go off, and they were making the lights
cool.
go. So it
Nice.
was visually a beautiful
Yeah,
piece.
okay.
But had I had the chance to do a second segment, and I even said to them, you know what you need to do? have me come back on a second appearance, but I'm not doing anything. Maybe you do something where the host comes out to talk, and then all of a sudden, I am the secret. You can't get rid of me.
Yeah.
And then something else happens. Then you guys wipe the system, and I'm gone. I mean, it would just be nice conclusion.
Oh, yeah,
there was no conclusion.
Sure.
The villain came and just kind of left.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really fun thing to do with like an ongoing basis,
But,
right?
they changed their direction. They wanted it originally to be a ghost, and the ghost does stuff. And they'd already done that on other Got Talent stages. And I loved those appearances. But I said, no, ghosts are not scary. I said, AI is scary.
Yeah.
What people don't understand, they're afraid of. So let's play with that. And I think it scared them too much.
Oh, you're right, too. Like, I'm in IT, actually. Yeah. So it's, people are, like, they're afraid it's going to take their jobs.
They don't
Kids
understand
in school
what it
hate
is.
it because they think it's, they're not going to get employed because of it, right?
Or you can utilize the tool and figure out a way to maximize the potential.
I tell everybody,
That's all you can do.
It used to take 12 guys to dig a ditch with shovels, okay? Like 12 guys get the shovels out and they dig the ditch. And then the Bobcat came along, right? You need one guy that knows how to drive the Bobcat and one guy with a shovel for the fine detail, right?
That's it.
Not everybody's out of work, and the other guy's got to go retrain.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's going to be jobs in AI. There's going to be jobs in other areas. It's going to open up other platforms and other doors. And I'm not all for. I mean, I know people who are using AI for their business and magic, and they're operating Claude, and they're using Claude to run scraping. They're using that scraping technology for
websites,
putting out. They're scraping contacts. Then they're using those contacts to send out blind emails to clients who do buying. And they're doing it on such a level that if they're sending out 1,000 and they're getting 2 back in their hits, and they're charging $7,000 a show, they're making a killing.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything. The program's doing it. Maybe they put an hour or 2 a week into it, and the rest is a team of 8. It's like a team of 8 people working full time.
It's great.
So I want to learn that. I've actually been going. Well, I've been going through the preliminaries of going. Okay, when can I take the time and start? We have a system that works for generating work, but I'm on the phone 24/7.
Yeah.
I want to be on the phone maybe 12/5. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get into that because entertainment promoting shows is a hustle.
It's a hustle.
It's constant. Like doing it. We both have full-time jobs and we love comedy and we do as much as we can, but. Like it's, we've got a show, like when we do shows, it's a nail biter, right?
Yeah, and you don't know what's going to happen. If no one shows up, you're crying.
Yeah.
Listen, I produce a show monthly, a small show monthly. And for what it's worth, the show is a couple of entry-level performers, 1 or 2 veteran performers, and me.
Bit of an open mic, almost
and in
like
Toronto,
for indie,
and in Toronto, everyone's seen me.
Yeah,
right.
They don't buy tickets to see me. They buy tickets to see who I bring in.
Yeah,
this is what I say about Oshawa. People are like, let's do another show in Oshawa. I'm like, they've seen us.
They've seen you. So people come because I bring in Keita Sincere from Coney Island who swallows swords and sets her tits on fire, like whatever.
Shit, I'd come to that.
Well, there's acts out there that do crazy. I got a guy one-arm Bob, but we've used him twice, and now I'm noticing not as many people are coming out. So we got to put him on the shelf for a month or 2, and you got to kind of.
Where do you do the show?
So it's at a place called the Catacomb Cabaret.
Whoa.
It's a wonderful little space.
Yeah.
It's not very big. It's about the size of the area we're in right now.
That's perfect. Okay.
And it seats about 60.
Okay.
Packed.
Right.
We're talking 60's pushing it.
Right.
And we put about 50. And it's, we have a sliding scale. I have a ticket for $25. And then there's a sliding scale for those who may not have $25 who want to come out. We have 10 tickets available as pay what you can.
That's awesome.
And guess
man.
what?
I love that.
It's filled.
Yeah.
And I get to do new material. Liz gets to do material.
Okay.
We have some young performers coming in who have very little experience, and they always kill.
Yeah.
And you know what? They bring people out because they're the ones who want to bring out their friends and family because so-and-so's on stage, right? And that's what I say to people. How many tickets can you actually sell? I have people go, well, put me on your show. You should pay me $500. I said, well, how many people are you bringing?
Yeah.
I used to run a monthly, a burlesque monthly. This is a while back. This is, I would say, 18 years ago, at a venue in Parkdale, a little bar. And how I had it arranged was the bar gave me 10% of all sales, food and beer, period.
That's pretty good.
It was a Tuesday night, so they could either make 100% of $500 or 90% of $5,000. See the math? The 10% that came to me, it was free admission to come in and see the show.
Yeah.
Then we passed a hat. Okay?
Yeah.
At the end of the night, we had more money to pay. We were paying everyone $200-$300. And there was like
awesome.
6 performers.
Yeah.
So then that $200 had a lot more power than it does now. And that was on a Tuesday night. And I would say to the performers, even though it's free admission, how many people can you bring into this building? Because if you're coming in, like if, for example, I'm not going to name names, but there was one performer who I booked quite a bit, and no one cared because they could see them any day of the week on any show. And I'd say, how many people came to see you? I don't know. I brought my brother. Great. Did he bring 10 people with him?
Right.
And it's those 10 people who all spend $50 that make the 500 that give us the 50.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the process. I look at that and I go, well, you know, you got to sell tickets, man. Like wrestling, man. Hogan sold tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Leaping Lanny Poffo, God bless him, he was a friend, didn't sell tickets.
No.
Lenny.
He was I was one of the last people to wrestle him.
You wrestled?
Yeah, I wrestled for years. I wrestled back in October.
Did you use your mind to do flips
I
and
do
stuff?
things like that, yeah.
That's hilarious.
There's a guy that wrestles as Jesus right now.
Yeah, there is.
Have you seen
Yeah, he's wonderful.
It's pretty funny.
There's a few
Have
weird.
you not seen the Jesus?
He's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
he's
him.
great.
I don't know if he's not. Is he on WWE?
No,
or
no,
He's
no.
on my Instagram.
He's
Is what he's on.
It's a Christian wrestling promotion, and he comes to the ring and he does miracles, and the wrestler flips. It's fun.
pretty fun.
I like the
Yeah.
one that it's like Kane, but he's white, and they call him Cocaine.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's so
Cocaine.
funny.
It's
Yeah, and he's
great.
got like a bunch of cocaine in his hand.
It's great.
So weird.
But anyway, you have to draw, and if you don't draw, I mean, I'll put you on, but you're not going to get a position where you're making money. And I would, well, like Liz and I would book these shows, and I'm not saying anything negative about these performers. They're wonderful performers, but I brought a group of performers in from the States, and they were new in Toronto. These were all talent that came from the top sideshow in America. I brought them in, packed. Place was just bang. Second year I brought them back, busy.
Okay.
Third time I brought them back, year 3,
Novelty's
lukewarm.
gone. Yeah.
People saw them. And I said, all right, can't use you for a while.
Right.
Your novelty ran off. Everyone
Right.
saw you. So we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the same act.
Same act.
Well, we run into
Same
this too,
performers,
right?
different
It's-
act, but same performers.
Yeah.
Like for us, it's hard to come up with good, solid material, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to open mics and things like that. And when we get like something put together or a few things, we can't keep going to the same spots,
No.
obviously. It's because,
Because redundant.
Yeah.
it's not engaging anymore because someone knows the punch. Now they can see something, they might kind of graze through your Instagram and see a bit, and then you do it on stage. The first time they see it, they're like, oh, this is that bit that I saw on Instagram. That's okay.
Sure.
But when they come back, oh, this bit again. It's,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
And that's
so-
why I mix stuff up. I have about, actively, I mean, I don't even know how many things I have.
Well, you can just keep
and
guessing. You can just
hundreds and
get
hundreds.
people to
But it's
write
more
stuff
so
down.
how to present each one. I mean, I could
Right.
say,
Okay.
now pick a name, now pick a location. Now maybe I bring out an atlas and someone opens the atlas and I have a plane ticket that's been previously printed and wherever you pick is in an envelope in your pocket. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it could also be just write it down and I'll tell you what it is. It's how I present everything.
Well, that's the talent.
Yeah.
That's the
there's lots
yeah.
of people that can do tricks.
Yeah.
But it's
You know,
that presentation.
pick up
Yeah,
a
as
book
well.
or pick
Big
up,
thing.
whatever, a card. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a matching game. Now we're going to do something where a spoon bends or
Yeah.
something moves or, it's all in the story.
We work with comedians that are great writers. They write great, like the bits are good. It's just on stage, it's kind of like
They are unable to present it.
Yeah, like you just, you're writing strong. I like the joke, but your delivery is messing it up,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, it seems either it's like, it's not, there's something about it. And that's when you look at someone like, I was talking to someone the other day and I'm like, you can see talent.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're being kind, but, with someone's like, oh no, they're good. I'm like, listen, I know they're good and that's fine. But are they really talented? Like, is this really something that's going to happen for them? And some people, it's great to see them doing it too. It's like, I love when people do comedy alongside us, right? I love when people, it bites them and then that's it. We're friends for the next few years, right? Because I'm going to see you around. But it's hard when you see someone like trying it, and if they're trying it and it's like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind doing this, you know, here and there, and that's great. But you see some people and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be famous, and you're like,
yeah, right,
no, you're not.
No. Hey, you got to be crazy to like when they say you got to be.
I'm honest with people. I mean, I'm always encouraging, but I'm also very honest. I've had people go, hey, how can I do what you're doing? And I'm like, all right, how old are you? 22. Well, give it another 23 years,
right?
And do it every day, 8 hours a day, and change with the times and adapt. You know, I said to people, I remember, like, I was doing an event. When was it? I did the event, and it's like 700 Italian construction workers, like 10 days ago.
Sounds like a good show.
So it was like 700.
Yeah.
There was like 100 like 80 tables with 10 people at each table or whatever, 8 people at a table, in this giant frickin' Woodbridge conference center.
Italians in Woodbridge, get out
Imagine
of here.
that.
They're all bricklayers.
and it was everyone from the CEOs down. It was this big charity thing, and you know, I'm going to tell you guys a really funny story. You're going to get a kick out of this afterwards. A different event,
okay,
but I'm going to tell you a really funny story that I remembered.
Yeah.
And how you adapt on stage. So anyway, there I am in the distance, and I'm this tiny dot, and I have to entertain them for 45 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm like, they have a camera on me. They said that they would follow me on the camera and get close-ups. No. There's just someone in the back with me, and you can just, maybe I'm a bit bigger on the screen. But I not only held them for 45 minutes.
Nice.
People were losing their mind, running up to the stage from the back, wanting to get pictures afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, because I got the chops. Why do I have the chops? Because I do shows at bars, because I do shows in the street, because I throw myself into the lion's den, because I do shows for bikers, because I do shows for bar mitzvahs, because I do shows for anybody.
Right.
And I'm able to adapt because I've been doing them for so long. And it doesn't matter who you are. My job is to change my program to fit whatever peg you're giving me, because if I can't do that, I'm not a professional.
Well, this is what you picked for this is your only career.
This is it.
Like, you put yourself in the
Now, I've had
corner.
people call me up and go, all right, we have an event. Had this happen not too long ago. Somebody called me up, I guess Father's Day's in a month or two. I don't even know when it is. But they wanted me for a thing on Father's Day. They said, okay, we have this show. It's at a park. It's for Father's Day. And it's a lot of young kids are going to be there. A lot of families. And we want you to do an hour mentalism show. And I just was honest with them. And I said, I'm going to tell you something right now. It ain't going to work. Okay. I don't care if you get Oz Perlman. I don't care if you get the amazing Kreskin and bring him back from the dead. It isn't going to work, because even if I give you my theme park program, which fits that same demographic, at a theme park, you are purposely coming to see The Mentalist, so you're already in a headspace where that's what you're going to watch. Yeah. If you don't want to watch my show at the CNE, you can go watch the dog show. You could go watch the skaters. You could go watch the juggler. But if you want to look at your program and go, hey, look, a mind reader, let's go check it out, you're going to come in and you've already been conditioned to know what to expect. Right. If I'm in this environment, I'm in chaos. Barbecues, kids picking their noses, running around, screaming, yelling. And not only do I have to get their attention, it's going to stress me out. You're not going to get the level that I should be giving. Yeah. So I turned it down. I said, I'm sorry that I don't know if I don't think this is the right fit. I have people who do children's entertainment. It might be better for you, or somebody who does more of a magic show might be better. Oh, but we want a mentalist. I said, 5-year-olds don't get it.
Yeah.
So you have to also know where.
I don't want to be on camera
looking like an idiot.
A shitty show
with balloons. Forget. I've been there. So that's something. I'm going to tell you a story about adapting. This is hysterical. I'm not going to name names. So
You can go ahead if you want.
Nah, I'm not naming
Make it a
names.
little spicy in here.
all right, and this to the listeners, I apologize. I'm not a vulgar person, at least in public.
You hear that, Mom?
But I have to tell you the joke.
You don't have a mom.
Yeah, I do. Jesus Christ.
You don't have one either?
I don't have a dad, all right? Jeez.
Well, none of us have those.
No. So I'm booked to perform at a gala in Woodbridge. This is about a decade ago. And the room wasn't big. From my memory, maybe there was about 100 people at tables, 10 tables of 8 or something like that, or 10, 100 people, moderate room. And it's all like, Joey Falcone and his family, and they're all wearing prom dresses.
Again, in Woodbridge, you got to be kidding me.
But it's like they're not casually dressed.
Okay.
The head honcho from the construction firm is there with his pinky ring.
Okay.
It's all,
Yeah.
mob or whatever you want to call it. And their families. And these are like, I think the youngest people on maybe 10. There's like children, 10. They're in suits. Little girls, teenagers.
Yeah.
Children are taking up about 35% of the population of the room. Okay. So keep the material clean. It's 3 acts and me. There's act number 1, act number 2, me, and then headliner. The other acts are comedy acts, and they're on for 10 minutes each. I'm doing 20 minutes, and that's it. So a total of, let's say, 45 minutes or whatever it adds up to.
Yeah.
Act number 1 goes out, kills it. Hilarious, funny content, family friendly. Act number 2 goes out, bombs. Starts sliding fast. Then, for some reason, goes completely blue.
Oh.
We're talking not only blue, but like turning to the teenagers and going, so you got a boyfriend?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So when I was a kid, I knocked up my high school girlfriend, and we thought she got pregnant. And you know what we did? We didn't go down to the fertility clinic, talking to a room of Catholics.
Jesus.
He goes like this. I kid you not. This is what he said. He goes, I just took a bottle of Diet Cola, shook it, stuffed it in, and cleaned up the mess. And now I'm in the green room.
Mentos challenge.
One more use for Coca-Cola.
Guys, I'm in the green room, and it's being piped in so you could heir it.
Oh, God.
And we're looking at each other, and I'm going, oh, no. Right, I'm on after this. So
cool.
Anyway, they cut his act after like a minute of that nonsense. I guess
That was a minute in.
It was a longer than a minute. It was.
Yeah.
I would say it was a good 90 seconds before the host came out and went, and
Right.
now, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'm going to tell you this. I never saw the guy. When he left, they must have kicked him out of the building because when I was done my set and I came backstage, he wasn't there. And the headliner and the opening act that was there with me were like, I was like, where is he? They're like, I don't know. So they must have just got his shit.
him
You're
right
out
out.
of
Did you
here.
go on after him?
And this is what I did.
Okay.
Are you ready what I did?
Yeah.
You're going to die. You're going to die. So they're like, all right, well, so-and-so. And now we have a mind reader from blah, 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 blah. You may have seen him on CDTV, blah, 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 blah. All right, welcome, Mysterion. I walk out, not a sound. They're all like this.
Yeah.
Looking at me. And I look at the audience and I go like this. I am as angry as every one of you in here. I want to ask you, I want to say, I am shocked. I am disgusted. I am appalled. And I am ashamed. That last act stole all my material. And they burst out laughing, and I went, you don't have to worry about me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm crystal clean.
Right.
Let's start the night over. You get up here, and I went right into it, and I started
good.
with my finish. I started
Okay.
with the finisher,
Yeah.
and then I went backwards.
Just
So I
catch 'em
started,
in.
I
Yeah.
just started hard, and they
Yeah.
were like, whoa, and they forgot.
Yeah.
They forget, immediately
Yeah.
they forget why they're upset. They're not upset anymore. Let them get back to being angry for the last act. I don't
Right.
care. But, at that moment, I took them right out of their discomfort and brought them back
Yeah.
and then realized, you know what, that's my job. My job is to maintain that entertainment. And I had to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge. You can't pretend that didn't happen. By pretending it didn't happen,
Sure.
you're making your life harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it happened.
Yeah.
And that line was my escape to go, you know, he stole all my material and I worked on that.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You don't have to worry about me. And,
Well, it's good.
And it killed
reading
it.
the room. It's good.
A warmed
Killed
up
it.
crowd is, you know, I was talking to Jonathan from Bread Chubby there, and I'm like, you know, I watched a headliner go on. We had all done really well, set after set, that audience, and they came to laugh. I mean, at one point, I just took a sip of a drink and they laughed. I was telling my girlfriend, we were watching on the camera, see, I'm not even telling a joke there, and they're laughing. Like, that's how ripe these people are.
Yeah.
And so we all do really, really good. And the headliner, right? He gets on there, and he just basically doesn't even do crowd work. He's just talking to them, telling them about his, and they're laughing at everything he's saying. And I'm like, these aren't even jokes. Like, this guy's just, he goes, oh, I got to come back here. I'm like, I fucking bet if we all warm him up like that.
That's right.
Let me see you do that first, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I hear you talk about following someone, now I've never had to follow like a really bad, not on a show, like open mics, yeah, but that's where it's funny, right?
Yeah.
We can just talk shit about each other. But on a show, yeah, and that's why you can't play favorites when you're booking people either. And the way you curate it, right? Like, you're like, okay, this guy's pretty good, right? Couple years, here's a 3-year, and this guy's hilarious, and then our headliner.
Yeah.
And that by the time it gets to the headliner, everybody should be just ready to go. And this guy, and he should be, you know, your cream of the crop, so it just makes it that much better. So when you're talking about putting shows together and stuff, and we do about the same amount, like 5, we'll do like 5 comedians, 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
Beyond that, the audience gets a little tired. We had a Christmas show here at the Biltmore once, and we thought it was a good idea to bring in a company that was having their Christmas party. And they had their Christmas party up here.
Right up here, yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, that was something that was
But
downstairs.
it was here for the comedy show. We're gonna have our Christmas party up in the VIP.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we have 2 VIP slots left for the June 18th. $600. You get 12 tickets. It's a great show. Come on out. We're gonna be feeding some dogs. And so, that was pretty good. I've never done it that quick. But they were talking and stuff. So it wasn't so bad that they were talking. They were getting a little loud. But the audience is straining now to hear us. So now you're putting a burden on the audience. They're trying to filter out this back noise of the crowd, you know, that was up here, right? While they're trying to hear what you're saying. So if you're doing like open mic jokes, like the one line, the quicker ones, you'll keep them. But generally, when we come to the Biltmore, it's like you've got some time. They came to see a show. Yeah. You can stretch some out stuff out. You can walk around. You can take some time with it. I just got goosebumps. I love doing this stuff. So
that's why I always like my first joke to be within like 2 seconds of me out there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Dakota, and then boom. Just hit him with something.
Yeah.
Just kind of get it started because you don't know what the guy behind you did or what next. You kind of just sets you off. That's normally what I do.
So yeah, it's good to hear that you have these problems too.
I think anybody who produces a show does.
But
You were saying 4 or 5 performers on something strange. We have the fortunate displeasure of booking 13 performers. That's our
13's
number,
okay.
and they all get 3-4 minutes. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like one comes
Rapid
up, swallows
fire.
his sword, does his thing.
Yeah,
Next one comes up, does his bit.
Yeah.
Some of them are a bit longer. Some, I might come up
Depending
to
on
one
the
thing,
act.
but it's 13, and it fills about 2.5 hours.
Now for the Biltmore show, like you're doing a lot of stuff.
I'm doing my whole
This
act.
is you. Yeah.
Mostly, well, there's bands.
Yeah, that's
There's
interesting.
2 or 3 bands and me. So
now the setup time in between, you don't
20
find
minutes.
It? Okay.
I'm the in between.
So they're setting up while you're doing.
I think they're already going to have it moderately set up, but I'm going to come
Okay.
to the front. You dim the lights. I do my bit.
Yeah,
20
yeah.
minutes.
Okay.
Then let's introduce the next band. Band plays. Band's off. All right, I'm back.
All right.
I do my headline. So band 1 plays, then I come on, do my 20. Band 2 plays, then I do my final, and then the headline band plays.
Do
That's it.
you have the bands all booked and everything?
It's not my job. They're already booked.
Oh, okay.
They're already
You
booked.
don't know who's.
The promoter booked that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
promoting. I'm helping to promote it.
Right,
but It's
right.
not my
Right,
program.
right.
Right. Okay.
But we're gonna do January. I'm gonna be bringing the Freaks here.
Nice.
So I have the whole
like a circus.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing that, but that's just so.
You doing auditions too? I know.
You're in.
I know some.
How cool would it
game.
be to bring
I'll
back like
stuff.
an old school
We do.
circus?
We already have
like,
it.
That's so
not
cool.
in a theater though, like outside somewhere.
That exists.
Like,
It
I
exists.
would love to see that.
It
like
happens
I feel like they
a
did
lot
about
in
10
the
years ago or
States.
something like that. They did that. They brought the little circus to Oshawa.
without all the Halloween-y stuff or whatever. Just like pull up some stuff, have a bunch of acts, some stages, right? Like just make it a fun afternoon, maybe a Ferris wheel if you got to do something, right?
They did this in Ottawa about, was it Ottawa? Gatineau or something, outside of Gatineau.
All right.
Half an hour out. They did this about 20 years ago. They called it Carnival Loon Bloom. Remember the show Carnival? It was on HBO
familiar.
for a brief period. Whenever that show came out 20 years ago, give or take.
Around then, the HBO show. Yeah,
so around then,
that was a good show.
Somebody came up with an idea to rent a plot of land, build it like an old Dust Bowl carnival.
Yeah.
Bring in some rides, have a sideshow, and promote it.
Yeah.
And it flopped. No one came. You got to remember something. Let me ask you a question. You got your kids, okay, you got your entertainment budget as a family.
Yeah.
Where are you going to take your kids? Wonderland or the kooky carnival show in the middle of nowhere?
Summertime might be the wrong time to do it.
Yeah,
But then now we have weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see
Just
what I'm
depends.
saying?
I'm cheap,
It's a
so if the
tough-
circus is
So I-
cheaper,
it may
I'll
not
do
be
it.
would have to be in
as cheap.
October.
May not be as cheap. Now here's where it does work. When you have a fair who's a pre-existing body, book you to come in and have it set on site.
Nice. Yeah.
So that happens, but it happens a lot in the States. So I'll see the fairs in the States will book a ballyhoo sideshow. They'll put up the banner line. They'll have the 3 trailers.
Yeah.
You go into one trailer, there's the mermaid on display. You got the freaks on display in there, the 2-headed animals in jars.
Right.
Then you have the stage area where the snake charmer comes out, the sword swallower comes out, somebody comes out and hangs something out of their eyelids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You got that kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
You might have a magician, and then the 3rd trailer might have something else going on, whatever that is. But it's all the big banners, the painted banners. But they're probably selling that to the fair. They're going to the fair trade show. They're either selling it to the fair and charging admission, or the fair's hiring them. Like for example, with the CNE, they hire me.
Yeah.
I went to a trade
nice gig,
show.
eh?
Yeah, it's a great gig. I go to the trade show. I pitch to the CNE, and then Liz and I put a package together, send it to them again, follow up and say, where can we fit me in? They have a circus stage. They're going to have maybe a juggler. They have on certain time, and they have this on a certain time. And then they have Mysterion for a half an hour, 3 times a day. And you can come and see me. And
3 times a day?
3 times a day. And I've done the CNE. I did all 18 days of the CNE 3 times a day. I'm only doing 6 nights because I'm already booked earlier in the month.
Okay.
So they could have got me earlier and had me the whole time, but
So 6 nights you go on 3 times?
6 nights in a row,
Yeah.
3 nights, 3 times. So it starts at let's say 3 to 8. I'm there 3 times,
Yeah.
and that's nothing. It's half an hour spot. It's
Yeah.
easy
Yeah,
for me.
No, that's a great gig.
Yeah, and I live right at the CNE gates. Like if you walk down
no
the
way.
CNE
That's
gates,
perfect.
you could walk to my house, but you take an Uber, it would be 4 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm at Lansdowne College. So you
Yeah.
just go up to Dufferin and up.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
can take the bus there
Yeah.
if I really wanted to. But, you get to the gate. My stage is just you walk in, and my stage used to be over by the Enercare Center. So I'd have to come in through Liberty Village, walk under the go, and then come up, and then go to my stage by the horse pavilion, where the entry into the the big Enercare Center where you go in there and buy vacuums and crap that you don't need.
Yeah.
That build, and I'm buying leg massagers and
Yeah.
fucking non-stick pan.
Right, tchotchkes.
You know how
It's
many
like I got
times
a
I was going to buy the
billion
non
figurines
I
around
was
that.
going to buy
Slap chop.
a whole new set of kitchenware.
Slap chop.
My God, I can make brunch every day with that. You know,
yeah.
Still sitting in the freaking cupboard. I gave the leg massager to my father after like a month. He has like Jimmy legs, and I'm like, you know what? You might need this more than me. I hate this thing. It's annoying,
Did he use it?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he did. He still has it.
All right.
But when I was at the CNE, then I was doing 3 a day with Steffi, and it was so hot because we had a stage that faced the rising sun. We would start at noon, and the sun would be right where that chandelier is, blinding us for half an hour. Fucking hot. And so what I did was I got a. 'Cause they wouldn't put up
an awning.
An awning.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't.
Yeah.
Because it was just a riser.
Just get a wizard's hat. Just the big ass.
Well, she put on a big hat.
Yeah.
She put on a big hat.
That's called a sombrero, you
Sombrero,
racist.
Yeah, a wizard's hat.
They all do have magic.
So
I was talking about a wizard's hat, not a sombrero. For the record, not everything's about race. They're magicians
I
or
know
mentalists.
you think highly of the Hispanic community.
My God,
My hombres.
canceled.
They sell them weed. He calls them wizards.
I bought one of those big portable umbrellas that you would have on your porch.
Okay.
And I brought that up on stage, and I had to put sandbags so we would position the umbrella as the sun moved throughout the day to make sure at least we had sanity.
Yeah.
But there would be days where at the end of the day, I would go back to, like at the end of the day, at the end of the set, I would go backstage. I'd take off my shirt, it was soaked. I'd rinse the shirt. I had a shower. I'd wash myself off. Had to change of clothes. And then I would wait and then go out and do the other show. And by the time that one rotated, the other shirt was dry.
Wow.
And I would just have that cycle going.
Do you ever find, I was talking to Dakota about this, like sometimes when we tell a joke too much, it gets stale, right?
For me.
We know how to tell it, and we've told it so many times that sometimes I caught you the other night and I'm like, that sounded too mechanical. Like it sounds like you're just kind of going through the paces. Do you find it hard to stay when you're doing a show like that? Now you got heat in your face.
It wouldn't be because of the heat or the environment like the C&E. It wouldn't matter where it is. I think it sometimes can happen just because.
Yeah.
But it's not really because of a certain type of gig. Where I find it might happen is when I used to do the Wonderland Haunt, and it was more of a scary show.
That sounds
and I
fun.
really had to amplify the creepy.
Okay.
And I also like to add a comedic element to the creepy.
Did you bring your brother? Was he?
I brought a doll, haunted doll. And then I had a bell that rings, and it's outdoors, but it didn't matter. I created that. We had this little, I had them build it for me. It was a platform. And it had an awning and the whole shebang, but it was built to look like gallows.
Oh, cool.
So you would walk up, and there was gallows on it.
Okay.
But they were for a trick at the end. Nice. And then I would do my thing on the platform in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And then the final trick was there are 5 ropes, and 4 of the ropes are real. They're tied nooses, not long. The noose is here, then maybe 8 inches, and then a hook.
Okay.
And the 5th rope is also the same visually, except there's a clothes fastener that just kind of allows the noose to detach.
Okay.
Now, each one of those ropes had almost like a toilet paper tube that was covering the area where that detached area would be. So no one knew which one was the one that was the safe one.
Right.
So I would mix them up, and I would say to an audience member, which one do I put on the gallows? And they would pick one, and I would throw the other ones down, and I'd hook it up, and then I would literally stand on a bucket, put it around my neck, and then on the count of 3, I kick the bucket. And when I kick the bucket, it just goes snap, and I go, good night, everybody. And everyone's checking the other ones, going, they're all real, they're all real. I cannot believe they let me do that every day. That Park Green let murder. I gave them stuff, man. I tried to get myself canned. Because I did. I tried to get myself canned once there because I was getting, for some reason, I was getting annoyed with the gig. And I don't know what it was. I think it was just, I was growing as an artist and it was getting cold and there was just something was up and I just didn't want to take the gig anymore. So I wanted to see how far I could push the envelope.
Oh, good. That wasn't that far, right? You went further than that?
Oh, I did something really wonderful. What I did was I added a trick to the show, which, thinking in hindsight, I should come back with it. It's just so brilliant. So what I did was I acquired a carton of just regular milk, and on the back, I stuck a label, and then I said to a kid, this wasn't even part of the regular routine, I said to the kid, hey, little kid, can you come up here? How old are you? I'm 9. aren't you a little young to come to the scary haunt? Because I think it was recommended 12 and over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, what's your name? And then, Mary. Oh, you're so adorable. It's so unfortunate. What's unfortunate? I said, turn to the left. Turn to the right. Your face is going to look lovely on a milk carton next week. And then I take the milk carton out, and I say, what name does it say on the milk carton? And it says Mary.
Oh, God.
And the kid's like, freaking out. But it's funny. And the parents are freaking
It's
out.
funny.
Now, I didn't.
Jesus, I don't know.
Guys,
the milk carton.
it's dark. It's dark as it gets. However, little do I know that the not the manager, the district manager for Knott's Berry Farms is watching the show.
Yeah.
So they said, oh yeah, the Knott's Berry Farms guy is here, and I went, oh, that's good. So I did that show, and then I did my final show of the night, and then the little girl that would run the AV says, oh, I got a wire. Before you leave, they want to see you in the office. I'm like, hi, you know. And I go to the office, and the guy's sitting there, and he's like, that milk carton line. And I'm thinking he's about to freaking give me the axe.
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
do you want to come to Ohio? That was great.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
Ohio.
I actually kept it in the show.
That's
I
steep.
kept it in the show. Moving forward, I kept that spot for the remaining 4 nights or whatever. I was
Okay.
another like 12 shows, because I was doing 4 a night for
This
18
was the
shows.
Wonderland one, or
This
was-
was one.
yeah.
This is ages ago,
Yeah.
and I kept it in the show. And then I think I just threw the carton away. Like, it was a real milk carton, but I fixed it in a way that it didn't crumple. It always looked.
Yeah.
I think I put white water in it or something, and I would pour it at the end and put something in it for a prediction. I did something else with it afterwards. But the key thing is that the name is on it. That was the trick.
Right.
I've
That's
never
cool.
seen anyone do that in a trick. It's so dark. But I think, there's a time and place for stuff like that. It's supposed to be a haunt. There's all sorts of scary elements. There's scenes of graphic murder. At that time, they had a maze where you would walk through the maze, and it was all car crashes, and they had bodies hanging out. Help me, tell my parents I love them, and it's teenagers.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
And I'm like, this is wicked, right?
Yeah.
And so there was
That's
a very high bar that you could play with at this thing. Now they have a sideshow. A friend of mine runs it, and there guy's holding an apple in his mouth. The other one's blindfolded, chainsawing the apple. I mean, they go to
Jesus
any level.
Christ.
That park goes to any level. C&E, safe.
Right.
I couldn't go anywhere near something like that at C&E.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
They don't.
Oh
let you,
no,
yeah,
you gotta be crystal
Yeah.
clear.
Dakota, you're never getting into this.
No, you're done.
I can't
But
even go without
appreciate
cussing.
that.
So.
I like that. I like being able to play both sides of the field, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, I expected something different, and I got much more than I thought I was going to get," or I expected something lowbrow, and I didn't get that. And oh wow, he's at the C&E. I just saw him at. It's like Bob Saget, if you really think about it. Bob Saget was filthy.
Yeah,
on
he
stage.
was.
Yeah.
Filthy.
Yeah, then he became Full
I
House.
mean, you watch him
man.
on television or the American Home Video show.
Yeah.
I thought, my God, what a juxtaposition. I don't ever get I don't get nasty or dirty, but I can get into dark areas. Like, I go spooky hard.
Yeah.
I go
cool.
spooky hard. But you're either getting one or the other. You're never getting an in-between zone.
Well, we had a comedian, that same Christmas show, I think, wasn't it Sean that came out and did a joke about that kid falling into a wood chipper?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does line after line of, what do you call
tags.
it? Yeah, like just tags on this
Yeah.
kid falling into a wood chipper. And he's using his voice, his name, and everybody's sitting out here, and no one's laughing. And me and, what's his name, Evan, we're in the wings because I'm lighting these guys when they're time.
Sure.
And we're howling. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And Sean is just eating all the shit on stage. Well, turns out the kid was from this area.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah, do that wood chipper joke, man. It's fucking great.
Oh, my God.
And the crowd, my buddy that was up here, he goes, yeah, no one was laughing at him, but we could hear you guys laughing backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, my
You can hear them giggling in the corner.
It goes, and he does a lot of dark stuff, and I love it. He's so good. I wish I don't want to wreck his act, but he's got some lines in there, And it's just like, oh,
know your audience.
Sean.
That's it.
Well,
That's it.
I love that
But it could be the opposite too.
Right.
Like a friend of
He
mine
took a
back in
chance.
the early '90s was in a band,
Yeah.
and they were playing St. Catherine's during the Paul Bernardo stuff.
Oh.
Shit.
And they wrote a song. They rewrote "Help Me, Rhonda."
Yeah.
And they were going, "Help me, Carla, get her into my car."
Oh my God.
And they're doing it in St. Catherine's while the whole thing's happening. And apparently the place went nuts, and they're all singing. And I'm going, this is nuts, man. Like, that's dark.
Yeah, I
But
like
the
it.
crowd went
That's
wild.
crazy.
Crowd went wild. It was, I guess, the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
But
timing,
it cuts,
eh?
you know what, though? In that instance, it's such a horrific weight that people are holding as that's happening. And you're holding all this sorrow and anger and something like that is so stupid and inappropriately bad that you go, and you laugh for a moment.
Yeah.
You're not laughing at it. You're not even laughing with it. You're just laughing at life's ridiculous absurdities.
100%.
And that is what that song is supposed to be. It's obviously not justifying or what's the word I'm looking for? Condoning it. It's in a way it's telling them to F off.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just a moment where you kind of take a bit of power back and have a moment where you go, yeah, this did happen. We can all have fun regardless of it, not because of it.
Yeah.
Unless
Helps
it
you
involves,
cope, right?
unless it involves Israel. I found that out.
No, you still can't.
What'd you do?
There's always
So I did this.
Always
no,
for
what
it.
did
I
you
did
do?
this Israel-Palestine joke where I was talking about Germany now having the biggest army now in Europe again, and I said, are we good with that? Because you remember what happened last time they had this happen.
Right.
And I said, last time they almost wiped out a race of people, Thank God we stopped them so those people could go and wipe out another race of people.
Yeah.
It was a groaner. It was meant to be.
Yeah, it's a groaner.
I might have picked a better. I told it at a Chamber of Commerce event.
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes you get up there.
I wouldn't do that. You got to know your audience.
Listen, sometimes you get
Hold
up
on.
there and
Hold
you
on.
go on
I'm
autopilot.
taking notes. I got a bar mitzvah on Sunday.
And it really upset.
Yeah, well, sure.
But it was a joke, and I really thought it was kind of a political thing that went both sides. So I went to a Jewish friend of mine. He's an elderly guy. I've been working with him for years. And I said, I'm getting a lot of heat over this joke. And I said, I said, do you mind if he goes, tell me the joke. And I told him, and he looks at me and I'm like, well, that look says it all. He goes, if you don't have to tell it, I wouldn't tell it.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But here's the nice part, okay? Because it's not that the joke was, it was the timing of too close. Like you were saying the Paul Bernardo thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky with it or it just hits. But what he said to me, he said, and this is kind of nice to know. He said, me and my friends, he's a wealthy dude. And he goes, we contribute to local Jewish charities every year, and we send money back to Israel every year.
Sure.
And he goes, we're not sending money to Israel because we don't know what the solution is, but we know this isn't it. And I'm like, that's a great way of putting it. And so I never did tell the joke again.
Yeah.
Part of me, just because I'm an asshole, wanted to do it again. But,
Yeah, well, that's how some people are, assholes.
Well, I like to spite people.
My theory on comedy is it's so subjective. My theory on it is laugh or don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're being, some of the crassest comedians, my favorite comedian of all time is Red Fox.
Okay.
Is Red Fox.
Yeah. Okay.
And, he walks out on stage in his Vegas act holding a mug shaped like a breast, drinking out of the nipple. And he turns to the audience and he says, I got this at the Betty Ford gift shop. Now, Betty Ford had a mastectomy earlier that month.
Oh.
She also had a drug rehab center.
Yes.
So the gag is they let him out, and he got this as a souvenir, and it's so dark
He got the
and
left boob.
so wrong
Yeah.
on every level.
Yeah.
And the room roared.
Yeah.
And I mean, in hindsight, you look at it and you laugh at it, and at the time, that would have been the equivalent of your joke or
Right.
or a similar parallel, but it's still so fucking funny because he did it. Like,
Yeah.
what? You wrote that and then you went on stage. You know, he's so funny and some of the stuff he says, and Richard Pryor and these magicians, I almost called them, these comedians of that time, they really broke barriers by being outrageously offensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outrageously offensive at a time when that was a no-no. I mean, we're talking a 10-year gap between somebody on the Ed Sullivan Show to mid-70s.
Yeah.
You know, big jump in style of comedy.
Yes.
You know, and these guys were taking a huge risk doing it, and they became household names. And just like Bob Saget, Red Fox, he became everyone's favorite uncle on Sanford and Son.
That's right.
He became a juxtaposition of his Hollywood self. So there's no harm being done because there's no harm intended. There's no harm intended.
No, there's not. Most of the I don't know too many comics.
Unless you are a cruel individual and you are purposely going on stage to be nasty, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You can always.
It's the way you're doing it.
Can you think of a comic that's purposely nasty?
I know, like amateur comics.
No, I'm talking professional.
Sometimes
you know
it works.
Ben Bankus goes pretty hard.
Ben Bankus is a good one. Yeah, he's a good example.
I don't know, but you can kind of tell it's not like hatred behind it.
No, I don't see hatred.
I find it's all comedy.
It's like an immature child giggling and going, how much more can I get away with?
Yeah.
You know, and I've watched him and went, oh boy. And I mean, I met him many times. He's friends of a friend. And he was fine. I mean, I didn't even know he was the same guy. I just knew there was a guy named Ben, and then it dawned on me it was the guy. And, you know, I've watched his clips not by choice, but because they come up sometimes in my algorithm or on YouTube. I'm always watching comedy and different things, and he'll show up, and he's doing stuff about Olivia Chow and stuff.
Yes.
And I laugh at it because it's more of a political commentary. I mean, I'm looking at it going, this is outrageously stupid.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's doing his rounds. I mean, I don't know.
Especially nowadays, like being a little offensive will get you viral.
Yeah.
Like especially if someone gets offended.
Game. Yeah.
It's just a route to go, but sometimes it's not going to work.
It's an
like
easy
Danger
path.
Cats.
An easy path, but one that can go dangerously sideways if you don't do it the right way.
Right.
Somehow who's the other guy that was doing it? Doug Stanhope.
Stanhope. Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, he was walking that line, man. And you watch some of his material, and there's people freaking on him, and hey, man.
Do you know one of the best things I've ever seen Stanhope do? Was he lives in a little town or whatever. And
I don't know much about him. I just know some of his material, and they had me booked to open for him, and then the show was canceled, and that was
he would have been a fun guy to meet. Like he seems.
I never ended up doing it. They said, "You want to open for him?" And I said, "Yeah." And I looked his material up, and I went, "I don't know if this would work with what I do." And I said, "I'll find a way to do it." And then I booked the night off, and then I got a call back that the show wasn't going to happen, and that was the end of it. The only way I knew of him was because he had been presented to me, and then I looked into him, and then followed up a little bit more on him and know his name.
Guy.
But he's famous,
Yeah, he's really good too. Well, there was a local comedy place in his little town or whatever, and they shut it down for whatever reason. So he went down to the city council, you know, where they hold the meetings, and he's talking, and he goes, yeah, they shut this place down or whatever, but then I just found out that you guys give anybody 2 minutes here every week, so I just want to encourage all the comedians to come down, and he starts doing an open mic in city council.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you can see it on YouTube. It's brilliant. The way the guy's
That's
mind
brilliant.
works.
I'd give it a shot. Why not?
Now, did they shut down the club or his show?
I'd be speaking out of turn if I tried to be too accurate with it, but he
whatever
shows
it was.
he shows up there and says, "Yeah, I realize
different.
everybody gets 2 minutes down here every week." So
hey, man, use
you'll
the
see
system
me here
against
every
it,
week.
right? Use it against itself.
It was great. I have 2 things left that I'd like to ask you. You design your own tricks. I feel like I'm insulting them by calling them tricks, but
what I do is how I do what I do is self-created.
Okay.
So a lot of the things I do are my own,
Nice.
not invention, but take on existing things.
Yeah.
Yep.
The book test goes back to the beginning of mentalism. Early mentalists had a book, look at the word.
Yeah.
But there's elements of one that I created that I do in my live show that I'm going to do here that are uniquely mine.
Yeah.
Approaches to how I do what I do are uniquely mine and fit me and my character. Some of the material I do is entirely mine.
Nice.
There's an effect I do where somebody chooses an item from takeout menus, and you've gone through 20 menus, you've gone through 40 items on the menu, and you land on, let's say, a container of fried rice, and I have it in my pocket.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I don't know anyone else who does that, and
That's
it's real.
great.
You can eat it, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do that. I've seen variations of a menu. I've seen, but the way that I approach it is a little bit more ridiculous because, hey, look, I've been keeping it warm for you in my armpit.
Hilarious.
You don't have a couple beers on you, dude. I've been throwing beers at you this whole time.
You don't want to know where I keep those. That's a problem, right?
Cold beer. Cold beer.
Little stubbies, and they're not cold. I'll tell you that. Thank God they open on command. But a lot of the material is my own material, and if it's not something that is my own, it's something that has been adapted from another entertainer or somebody who maybe I bought their book or learned an idea or a fundamental.
Right.
I don't create the fundamentals, just like you can't create the notes on a guitar.
Okay.
But you can combine them to be your own tune.
Okay.
I combine methods to create my own material.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to see anything that another magician does. I've seen many mentalists and magicians and performers across the board
that will
take other people's material and use it. I never do that.
You consider yourself different, like the distinction, like magician.
Oh, a magician and a mentalist are totally different. We're cousins.
Was my perception.
We're cousins.
Yeah. Okay.
We both use. I use sleight of mind. They use sleight of hand.
Right.
You know, I make 6 figures. They make 3. No, I'm just kidding.
Up your game up.
The difference is that we have more of a psychological angle to what we do, or a supernatural angle. You know, paranormal themes.
Yeah.
You're not going to see me do something like, "Hey, look, the pen's gone," there it goes. That amused him for a minute.
You see? Jesus Christ.
I'm like, fuck, the pen's gone.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Hold on, kids.
Yeah, no. Yo, you just keep getting
Hold on.
I watch this all
Okay,
day.
you ready? Watch this. Ready? 1, 2. Oh,
Hey, geez.
there.
Hang on. Let me show you one.
There you go.
Have you ever seen this?
That's good. No, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
That would
For
mess
the fans. Okay, ready? You start like that, and you end like that. There's your
Ain't
take
gonna
home.
happen. No.
Doug learned that at adult daycare.
That's
Just
right.
Hannah, look what I learned.
And I have my influences. No debating. I have my influences. My influences are there, and but I don't ever take other people's material. And even if I'm inspired by other people's material, I might have a moment where I go, I want to do something like that, and then I realize, no, that's their thing.
Well, no, what I was getting at is, so I've been watching a couple of magic movies lately.
Oh, yeah.
When they make a trick, and I'm like, boy, when you come up with something and pull it off, it must feel amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't think of something that I've done recently that has had an impact where I've gone,
well, maybe you should get to the work.
I should get to the
son.
work. I got to stop being complacent with what I have.
Chasing the dollars
Now,
instead
what
of chasing
was
the craft.
What would be something recently that I came up with, Liz?
You
That
probably
would
want
be
to keep it for
brand
your show,
new.
though. You don't.
Your pizza trick.
I just mentioned that.
You did, okay.
Yeah, the food trick.
You pull out pizza from it?
Pizza, fried rice. You don't want to know where the spring roll is. It's where the beer is.
Your Hollywood postcard.
Oh, there's an example. So I was in Hollywood. I used to freaking live there, but
You did?
briefly, yeah. With the Magic Castle, I'd be there all the time working. So I had a place on Orange for a little bit, right in the hub, right behind the Grossman's Theater. There's a street
That's
there.
cool.
Had a place there. It was great. And so you'd walk up and down Hollywood Boulevard, and there would be these shops that sold souvenir postcards and shirts. And I see the postcards and I thought, I want a trick where, because no one mails a postcard anymore, at least. Maybe they do. I don't think. I've never done it.
Yeah.
But I would want a trick that maybe you have a postcard that was mailed to you, and you say to someone, "Hey, look at the postcard," and there's like a collection of famous celebrities on the card, almost like a Sgt. Pepper cover.
Yeah.
And I say, just think of one of them, and now read the back of the postcard. And there's a message on the postcard saying, I was in Hollywood and I ran into maybe Chris Rock,
yeah.
and and that's who you were thinking of.
Oh.
So it's like, I thought, how am I going to do this? And so I did it. I created a way to do it, and it's phenomenal. That's and cool. I made one of one was called Golden Age of Hollywood, and then I did a separate version. It's called Dearly Departed. So it's all celebrities who have passed away.
Okay.
And then on the back, it's all grisly, and it's like, I went on a ghost tour, nice. And we went to the location where the ghost of Eartha Kitt is supposedly, and that's who you're thinking of,
right.
Or whatever. And what you're in my intention is that you've stamped it. You have your address to who you're sending it to, but you never mailed it. You found it in your pocket. You never mailed it, and that's why you have it in your pocket, because you keep forgetting to mail it. Right. So it goes back in your pocket, right? And that's the kind of reason you're walking around with a postcard. I have to have a logic to it.
Yeah.
And I made it, and I released it to the magic community. It sold a few, but it was so easily bootleggable. That there was a Chinese bootleg magic shop that got the file and just sold them for pennies on the dollar.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you. Yeah. And so what did I do? I just started giving the trick away for free. I just started giving it to people for free and said, you can just have the file, print it out on your own, enjoy it. Yeah. Because I didn't need to make, how much am I going to make from that? Even if I sold 1,000 of them and I made $3 profit on every one of them after my expenses and my costs and my advertising and what's the work for $3,000? Yeah. Whatever. Just take it.
Yeah.
But that effect, I love it because it just fits in your pocket.
Yeah.
You're in the moment. You go, hey, I found this in my pocket. Can I just try something with you? Look at one of those faces. You recognize one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whoever. Now read the back. And what the hell was that? And then you can do another trick where you say, think of a name and write it down. I can tell you who that is, or all kinds of stuff. I thought about doing one where the postcard folds like the Mad Magazine.
Okay. Oh, okay,
and then the
cool.
words spell the name of who you're thinking of. So that was one I thought about doing and never got around to it. But the reason why I didn't do this is more from a from my position of wear and tear, that eventually it would just rip.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to do it 30 times, and then you have a piece of crumpled paper in your pocket. It just doesn't look professional.
Right.
But I know that with this other one, it's going to stay clean. And
that's cool.
You know how you know a magician's working?
No.
Their props are trashed.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay.
Like all my books are worn. The deck of cards.
Yeah,
is
I noticed. I'm like, he uses this book on everyone.
I just use my prop. My bag is banged up.
Yeah.
I replace them so often, but someone's working when their props are held together with zip ties and Band-Aids. It's like all my stuff, except my clothes. Everything I have is just slightly something wrong with it. Because they're constantly being used, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like these guys brand new props. It's like, you've never used that.
I keep my joke books when I'm done with them. They've traveled. They're usually about a year and a half, right? Writing stuff down. But it's got like bar stains on it, people's phone number. It's like a little piece of history, and it's fun to look through once in a while.
I used to have a book in the 90s. It was every joke I'd ever been told.
Oh, wow.
And it was, I write them down on paper.
That's funny.
And it was a binder like this.
Wow.
And it had thousands of jokes in there.
That is some
and
curation.
We'd open it up and read them at a party, and then someone took the joke.
Oh.
Now I keep the jokes I like on my phone, but we're not going to tell any of those jokes because that's going to get me in big trouble.
Okay.
Big
Not on this
trouble.
podcast, it won't. Well, I don't. Depends what kind
I'll
of
tell you
jokes.
one. I'll tell you one.
All right, here we go.
Speaking of taxidermy, how do you kill a fox with one leg?
How you do that?
You make them run across Canada.
Oh, damn.
Oh, Oh, not Terry.
Oh,
You
there, I
can't
did
take
it.
shots at
I
Terry,
did it,
man.
buddy. I did it.
He only cares in Canada.
what's-
if you go to the States, they
No
don't
one
even know
knows
the
that
fuck.
joke. I know. I
That's
told
okay.
That's
That's why
crazy.
we're
I-
Canadian.
I thought he was
that
known
joke.
around the world. I thought everybody know who Terry Fox
I
was.
kind of
not.
thought, yeah, he
And
had
I
some
loved him, of course.
The States say who the
But
fuck's Terry?
that's the level of the jokes on this list. So we're not.
We
gonna
lost
go
an
any
open
further.
mic because a guy made a joke about Terry Fox,
they?
and they shut the mic down. Yeah, well, people left the bar.
Yeah.
As they should.
Well, I was like, oh,
I think
that's
like
Terry,
that's
man.
like top tier sacrilege,
taking,
right?
taking shots at
Yeah,
Terry.
I know.
How do you catch a unique rabbit? I like this.
How?
You sneak up on him. How do you catch a tame rabbit?
Oh.
Tame way, man. You sneak up on him.
Jesus.
Oh, come on. That's one for the kids. We had to clean it up after your Terry Fox.
It's terrible.
Yeah, all right.
Terrible.
My
It's terrible.
I'll tell you one.
terrible. There
It's
you
terrible.
go.
I'll tell you one. I used to date this twin. Her name was Rebecca, and somebody asked me how do I tell them apart, her and her twin. I said, well, Rebecca's got purple nails and Gary has a dick. So, shout out Rebecca and Gary. Hope you guys
So,
do that.
this seems like
I'm
a
adding
time.
that to my list. I love
I
it.
think we should maybe wrap it up. We're telling
Yeah,
bad
all
I'll,
right.
jokes.
I'll tell you one more. Speaking.
Oh,
of
here we
such.
go. This
All
is what
right.
happens with street jokes.
So I picked up a girl once at a bar,
Gary.
and she lived down the road from the bar. And she said, "We're gonna go back to my house or hers." I said, "Well, I live far. We'll go back to your house." I get to her house. The minute the door opens, I'm kidding you not. She had birds flying around the apartment, crap everywhere, 2 dogs, shit everywhere. The kitty litter in the toilet, kitty litter in the bathroom, plates up to the ceiling, garbage everywhere, unused laundry or used laundry everywhere. She had a baby. I don't know where the baby was, but piles of diapers. The place, there wasn't a clean place to sit. The carpet had mud worked into it. The walls were stained, cigarette smoke stained walls, the whole shebang. Just deplorable. So anyway, we were drunk. We started going at it, and we're screwing. And she goes, Mysterion, talk dirty in my ear. So I lean over and I said, the kitchen sink, the carpet, the windows.
You're just looking around.
yeah, no,
There you
it's-
have it.
Behind your ear. All right.
yeah, all right.
Anyway.
Not your place, apparently.
No, not her place.
No.
No, not your place.
Quick question: do you guys ever like argue without talking?
Oh,
You
we
guys
argue
just,
every day.
You guys are like,
Yeah.
hey, I know. Don't you even think about doing that?
Stop.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, before we go, I want to say one thing. Happy birthday to you because it's her birthday
Happy
today.
birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Oh, you
There you
guys
go.
don't get to see
I
her.
gave
but-
her a lovely necklace and a beautiful
I guess it wasn't a surprise.
a beautiful
eh?
oddity
You know?
display. and I bought
Hey,
her
take that one back. I need something different for tomorrow. There
yeah,
you go.
I bought her a vintage 1984 Boy George doll.
Oh,
she
damn.
loves Boy George, and
Jeez.
from her
Come
youth,
a
never had the
chameleon.
toy because I collect toys. She collects vintage 80s toys, and I got her this rare Boy George doll, and I gave it to her this morning.
That's
for her
awesome.
Boy George got in trouble recently. Didn't he say something? He was in the news recently.
he do?
I don't
He's
know.
always getting in trouble.
Is he?
Remember when he
Yeah,
got
let's
in
wrap
trouble?
this up and talk about
Do you
it. I gotta
remember
pee
back
so
in
bad.
the
Like
90s?
Morrissey?
I remember back in the 90s,
Oh.
he did something, and they ended up giving him community service where he's like walking down the highway, cleaning up, and people are pulling over going, aren't you Boy George? He's like,
Right,
yes, shut up, get away.
Yeah, he got in trouble. He got
Yeah,
the prison
some
work
sort of
thing. Yeah.
prison work
yeah.
details.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. So
right.
come see Mysterion sometime in June. Did we get the date
June
on
12th.
that? June 12th.
12th, yeah.
June 12th, come see Mysterion, and there's going to be music. There's going to be mentalism.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
and all
sorry.
sorts of trouble.
And then and we don't know about the other gig.
We'll
yet
talk
when you
about
come
that down the
back.
road. It'll be
All
in
right.
second weekend or third weekend in January. I
Okay.
think it's the third weekend on the Friday because we booked the Saturday in Toronto. We're going to have the same talent in here on the Friday.
Okay.
So we'll
And
do a
June
double.
12th is a sit-down event?
I don't know. I would
seated?
imagine it's somewhat maybe bumped,
Probably
maybe not.
seated.
I don't
yeah,
know. I
usually
don't know.
some of the bands they have
Yeah,
standing room
could
only,
be.
but well.
Maybe a little combo.
All right, my man. Thank you
All right.
so much for
Thanks
coming
for having
in.
me.
It's
Absolutely.
great.
Nice meeting you.
It's great.
Pleasure to
Appreciate
meet
everything.
you.
Thanks for
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
I'm taking this stuff with me.
Yeah.